the McLaren Speedtail. It's a very unusual looking car, and I mean, look at the interior. There are 5 screens here. Now this car shares a couple of things with the McLaren F1, and there's something very strange about the interior. The interior is a little similar to the F1 in the sense that the driver sits in the middle. There are 2 passenger seats on either side, and look at those seats. These are sports seats, and they're just pieces of padded carbon fiber. The production number is also similar in both the Speedtail and the F1. Can you guess how many of them were made? 106 cars were made, and this is the 3rd Speedtail ever made. Now the passenger seats are a little behind the driver's seat, so that the driver has a better view on his right and left. So yes, and of course, since it's a central driving position, the interior is designed accordingly. The dashboard is very wide, and there's screens on the corners, the ones that are on top of the dashboard. These are basically only connected to the rear view cameras, and these are the retractable rear view cameras. So when the car is going very fast, these cameras can retract because you don't really need to look back, and that makes the car more aerodynamic. How crazy is that? The rest of the screens are of course for the instrument panel, multimedia, navigation, and all the other features that you get in the car. So yes, this is a very strange looking car, and you know what, I'm going to get in. I've always loved the Speedtail. Now I'm going to get inside. So it's a very strange sitting position. It has dihedral doors which open upwards and outwards, and if you look outside you can see a McLaren P1. That's another strange feature of this Speedtail. So it's a bit strange sitting in the middle. I'm not usually used to that. You have the standard McLaren steering wheel, you have the pedal shifters, you have this button here that turns on the screens. So yes, you can see menus, and if you click on the doors, on the icons, you can see that it has options for roof. You can turn the roof opaque or transparent if you want to have a sunroof or not. You can control that as well, and you can access features such as multimedia, climate control, settings, everything. Telephone connectivity, multimedia, everything is there in this car. So this is a car that comes with all the features you would expect in a luxury car. Now here you can even change the reading lights if you want to read a book while driving a car at 250 miles per hour, and you can even change the ambience lights. So yes, there's a lot of things you can do with this car. The interior materials are also very special. There's a lot of carbon fiber, but it's not made of different types of carbon fibers. So it's very strange to be in this car. Now if you look up, there are buttons and knobs and switches here. So these knobs are of course to control the traction control. You have buttons for controlling the windows, and you have the engine start stop button there. Then you have of course the gear changing buttons, R and D. That's of course reverse, neutral, drive. You can change that as well from here. So yeah, the windows, yes, these are very small. That is one thing that is very impractical about this car. So yes, it is a very strange looking car, but aside from the interior, it's the exterior that I really want to show you guys, because it has 3 seats. It's also very wide. Now to accommodate that, it's also very long. It's the longest McLaren out there. So in terms of size, it dwarfs the McLaren P1, it dwarfs the Senna, it dwarfs the other McLarens as well. It is the biggest, most expensive, the fastest, most technologically advanced McLaren out there. Look at the front wheels. You have carbon fiber fins on them. Those are stationary, they do not rotate with the wheels. You can charge this car wirelessly. So I've actually seen showrooms where there's a wireless charger that's placed underneath the front end of the car. The engine in the Speedtail is a 4-liter twin turbo V8, just like you'll find in the Senna, but with the hybrid system it makes 1050 horsepower. Now it doesn't really have a rear spoiler wing, but there's a mechanism underneath 2 body panels on the rear end just above the tail lights, and that actually bends the rear panels, creating an upward wing, and that creates further downforce for the car. The rear end is of course very long, so yes, driving and parking this car is going to be a big headache. So because of how different this car is from other hypercars, that's why I really love the McLaren Speedtail. This is one of my favorite cars out there. I love the P1 as well. The Senna is also nice, but the Speedtail is something else, and of course you have to see it in real life to understand it. The design, the looks, the size, the length, everything about this car is extreme. So let's have a look at the front end. This is one of the places where I think the car looks its best. So if you have very thin headlights here, and of course you have the daytime running lights on the left side here, and just next to that you have an air vent that of course lets additional air pass through, just like in a Chiron Super Sport. You have vents inside the body as well. You have air vents inside the doors that feeds air directly to the engine. So yes, there's a lot of details that you notice about this car when you look at it. Now this blue car has another special feature, which is an optional extra. You see, underneath the grille you can see some gold parts, and those are actual gold. Just like in the McLaren F1, the engine was covered in gold. That's because gold dissipates heat very easily. So yes, for heat efficiency, gold is the best material out there. Now in this showroom there's a yellow McLaren P1. Let's just have a quick look at it. So this car is very different compared to the Speedtail. Both are hybrids, very fast hybrids, but the P1 is designed for cornering. The the Speedtail is designed for completely different performance. So I love both of them. Now if you want to see videos of the McLaren P1, P1 GTR, the Senna, or any other car like that, Bugatti Chiron in the back, or other Speedtails that I have seen, just head on down to the video's description for names and links. For other videos, just head on down to my channel, read the names, and you'll know which videos are in English.